Major breaking story coming out of Algeria now. The President Abdelaziz Bouteflika, 20 years in power, now just a couple of hours ago, announcing he is not running. That election next in April postponed. He's not running because of widespread street protests. Are we witnessing a belated Arab Spring in Algeria?
I tend to agree with you. Basically, you know, Bouteflika was kind of a hero in Algeria because he took part in the liberation struggle. He was the guy who actually put an end to the bloody civil war in the 80s and the 90s in Algeria. But the guy basically is unable today. And what we got here is kind of an entourage, a junta of officers behind him, trying actually to take control over Algeria. What we had seen is a lot of young people who are not familiar with the 20th century actualities in Algiers coming up in kind of a later on impact or effect of the Arab Spring. And I dare say that what we are having in Algiers, which is a very complicated society and state with a lot of bloody struggles, maybe this is actually the starting of the what I would call snowball effect, or something that would bring in Algerian spring.
Exactly, you did the air quotes there. So a lot of the countries in the Arab Spring didn't necessarily end in a springtime environment. What direction do you think Algeria is going to go?
I am afraid that if this is what we are going to have, it would be a replica of the civil war that we had in the 90s, when Islamic militias take control against the army. But this time we have a very, very well aware kind of young generations who would like to taste the flavor of freedom. And this is, I am afraid, is going to be the recipe.
That was a bloodbath in the 1990s, and the battle then between mainly more Islamists and the government. So that is a very pessimistic forecast.
I think that every Arab state, while even dreaming on a far-fetched democracy, must go into the dark tunnel of what we call post-Arab Spring. And Algeria is definitely kind of a case to the point, because in Algeria there are many, many frictions and conflicts which are being installed and coming from times immemorial in the 20th century. And if there is kind of a way by which people are going to let's say, promote their own agenda, I think it would be the recipe for another civil war. And I think that Algeria is going to be kind of a case to the point to this whole tumultuous change in the Middle East.
All right, well, for now, everything's sort of on hold. We'll see what happens with those protests after the president announced
we don't see
a delay
what
to the election.
What happened in Libya be replicated in Algeria could even be potentially worse.
Yeah, a lot of dangerous precedents behind it. Professor Uzi Rabi.